What up, brothers? It's Club King returning for a new video, and I think we'll put this one in the customization category because it's not a new review. As you can see, the figures in front of you I've showed you 1,000 times before. But what I'm going to be doing is spotlighting a good friend of mine's work, Tony May. I know a lot of you will have heard of him in relation to the capes. Been shouted out by a lot of guys, including myself in the past. I am just going to show you because I've received some new items off him. And I said, because he'd done me such a good service, I would show you how the figures looked using them. Now, first, I'll introduce you to the figures and also tell you before, if you've seen my customization of the DX12 video, I do use a lot of his pieces anyway. So, if we go along, as you can see, this is me. This one is more stock version of the DX12. One of my favourite figures still. Really like everything about it. That is the stock head sculpt. But I did have to change out the cape. The cape that comes with it as stock is fucking useless, to say the least. Now that is a battle length Tony May cape. I've had that quite a while. I've actually had a few capes. I had my own, which I later sold because I got these. I bought them off a guy called Shay Walker, and he included 2 capes with it. So that one, on that DX12, is battle length. So it just about touches the floor. It's a really nice one. Falls really well. Really good scale on it. In a minute, when I've told you what they are, I'll show them you from the back. You know Uncle Clipper likes to get technical with you. Moving across is the DX9 Batman. Another sweet piece. And I always supported the stock cape on this one because it's wired and it allowed me to pose it. As space has become a bit of a limitation, I find that I have to put it in the in a DX12 shelf with 2 versions of the 89 Batman, of the 89 Joker, sorry. So I pretty much find myself posing it straight up and down like that. Now, the last time I posed it, tried to get into that pose, the cape did my fucking nutting. It just would not fall, wouldn't fall natural. I was like trying to bend and twist the wires, and it just wouldn't go sweet enough. And I thought, fuck this, I'm going to bite the bullet, and I'm going to contact Tony, see what he can do cape-wise. But like I said, that is the stock cape for the DX9. Moving across, this is my more pimped out version of the DX12. Now, this one has got Tony's head conversion, so it's more of the squinting eyes. Then a copy of the Robbie the Painter faceplate, which is pretty much just the filed down Bruce Wayne head. And then as you look, this one has got a really long cape that does drape round him. And that is the full length Tony May cape. You might have seen that on other people's figure as well. So to show you what they all look like from the back and show the natural swags in them, we'll put a short pause in and then we'll have a look from behind. So now looking at them from behind, again going back to the first version, the battle length one, so the cape that Batman fights Bane at the end of Dark Knight Rises, pretty much just touches the floor. You can see really good scale, absolutely kicks the stock's cape arse. It is the cape to have for this figure, definitely. Moving across, like I said, this is stock. I do like the leather effect on it, and it does look quality, but like I said, because there's so much of the cape, it does take some handling. You've got to be an experienced cape poser to get that looking good. Looks a little bit puffy out in this pose, and that's why I weren't happy with it. Yeah. Moving across, this is the full length cape. Again, the natural scale and the swags that go around it just looks a lot more natural than the stock cape. So like I said, I have supported Tony's work for quite a long time, built up a good rapport with him, talked to him on Facebook, and I've been in lobbies with him on Figure Talk, and he's a great guy, really, really respectful and really down to earth. You think he must be making a lot of money, so why would he talk to the little people? But he's always sound, I've got to be honest. Whenever I talk to him, he's just a really good lad, as we'd say around here. But anyway, let's roll on and show you the new merch. So, like I said, pretty pissed off with the 89 cape last time I tried to pose it, and I thought, I'm going to try this cape. So I got in touch with Tony through Facebook and said, do you still do the 89 cape? He says, well, I'm just doing a final run on the 89 cape, and I can't remember if he said I finished it or I'm just about to finish it. I says, am I too late to get one? He said, I can sort your cape out, no worries, we'll get you one in post. So we carried on the correspondence, and he did agree to do me a cape. and while we were in contact, he said, did you ever see our DX12 wired cape? And I said, no, I didn't, to be honest. I saw the Dark Spartan cape, which is what I own. And I said it is a really nice cape, although very fiddly to pose, and obviously with limitations of space, you can't always have one posed with that cape on. But it does look very dynamic when they've got the wired capes on. So he says, well, can I include you on? If you like it, keep it. If not, send it me back, and so on and so forth. And I can package it with your 89 cape. I says, yeah, that's really good. So anyway, if you guys remember, when I unboxed these two capes other week, along with some other items I got, I showed them, I shouted Tony out. Now, what Tony saw was the fact that he hadn't sent me the final version. He'd sent me the version before the last version of the 89. Now, I says, well, there's no problem. The one you've sent me is fine. He says, yeah, but I want you to see the cape that you actually ordered. So, this is what came originally. You see, really nice. Again, has that crackly leather effect. Looks really good. And I will say, I haven't had either of these capes on the figures yet. But anyway, that is what he sent me. Now, I will point out that on this one, it is ribbed on the inside. So if you're looking at it from the outside, it pretty much shows the cape. It does have the stitching down the cape, but it's embroidered on the inside, so you don't see the spines of the cape. Now, the way I understand it, when Tony watched my video, he was like, Rick, I'm sending you another one. Like I said, I want you to see the final version. So in the post earlier this week, I received this one. Now, I understand this is actually the final version. As you see, same material, very nice. Again, looks really leathery. You can see just hanging it up, the scale looks really good. But on this one, the embroidery sort of catches the ribs of the cape from the outside. So I'm going to try both on and show you both, and then you can decide if you need to get in touch with Tony and order one yourself, or if you like them or if you don't like them. But like I said, when his work's that good, I feel it's only fair that I do shout his work out. So what I'm going to do now is, I'll probably put that one back into the cabinet because I'll not be needing it. I'll put the wired cape on that, and then I'll show you the two different 89 capes on that. Right, so first transformation, we've gone with the wired cape on the DX12. I think, I've got to say, I think the materials Tony's used are really good. Firstly, if you look at the back, it's got the like velvet animal flock, and it is really, really black. The inside is kind of a more shiny satin, and it is really good because the material on its own is stiff, and then it's got the wires through it as well, which makes it quite easy to pose. It is still fiddly like the Dark Spartan one is, but I found it, I don't know, when you're doing a wide cape, you find that you get one wire into position, then you go to move the next one and it pulls the first one out of position. That still is the case, but with perseverance, you can get a nice look. Now, I think normally I would go off to the side with a cape like I've done with the Superman cape there, which is the stock cape but with a wire just put through bottom, obviously supported on his left leg. This one I wanted to show that you wouldn't need to support it against anything. He hadn't even got the stand, but the cape is still billowing up. So yeah, really nice. I don't think there's much more you could ask for in a wide cape, to be honest, because like I said, the material is good and really dark. It's thick and it helps the wires, and the wires inside it are strong enough. Also, the cut and stitch are immaculate, like you would expect for a cape from Tony. So yeah, really nice. I don't know if I can get an official seal of approval, but what I would say is, I think either wide cape that's on the market, and the two I know, like I said, is Tony May's, and I know sometimes I say Tony May, and I know it's Tony May. I'm fucking ridiculous with names, me. Yeah, so I'll go back to what I was saying. The capes, the wide capes on the market, you're looking at the Tony May cape, which is the one you see now, or the Dark Spartan cape, although I've not had any contact with Dark Spartan for quite a long time, so I don't even know if them capes are still in production, but I thought I would give both a mention. So let's roll on to the 89 Batman. Right, so like I said, I did receive 2 versions. I think this is the one before the final version. Like I said, this has the ribs on the inside, so it sort of bellows outwards. I don't know which is more accurate, and I don't know obviously which is the best because I haven't put the second one on yet. But I have tried to pose it in a way to show that it does drape really nice. It does give the leather effect, and again, it is really black looking. As we move in, you've just got to try and position so the points come down the seams, which I've tried to do as close as possible. Obviously, he's holding the cape up at that side. Could probably do it a little bit tidier than I've done. But yeah, certainly fits, goes on really easy. Really nice touch. So I think for a comparison, we better swap it out to the one with the ribs sort of on the outside, which I understand is the final version. Right, so now, as you can see, I've got the final version on turning. We'll show you. This one, I've got to say, is easier to line up the points of the cowl with the ribs. I think obviously because the ribs are more visible on this. This one kind of billows inwards, if that makes sense. But I think this is the more natural looking one of the two. I will show you with the arms up as well, so you can see how it drapes off his arms. But I did want to see how neatly it fits to the body and also the length. I think this is the one I would go for out the two he sent. There's not much in them. Like I say, it's same material, so you're going to get the same shade of black, the same cracked leather look, and it does fall a lot more natural than the stock cape, although obviously you do lose the wiring that the stock cape has. If we just move in, I would say as well, because of the position that my cowl were in my last pose, it's sort of bent out of shape. Now there is a tip for getting that back into position. It basically just dip the points into a cup of warm water, put them on the figure, and they're that supple that they will then set to the next position you put them in. I've done it a few times and it doesn't hurt the cowl at all. Like I say, I've got the ribs pretty close, not bang on, but like I say, I think my cowl were a little bit out of shape from the previous pose it were in. But that does look really nice. We'll put a short pose in, and then we'll finish out with a shot with him with his arms up. Right guys, as you say, I've got his arms spread, and if that don't look beastly, I don't know what the fuck does, because that looks fantastic to Uncle Clipper. Again, I've tried to get the ribs as close to the points of the cowl as I can. It's got the drape showing the weight and the scale over the arms, and that looks beautiful, I've got to say. You would never get the stock cape to do that. Now, if you want to talk to Tony, do so. You can find him on my friends list on Facebook. Also, I will put his email link in the description box below. I've got to say, credit where it's due, he's got to be the best cape maker on the market. Some people will say, well, I like my Hot Toys cape and I don't see why I should spend money to buy anything else. But them same people probably said, my dread's good enough, I don't want to paint the shoulders gold. Sometimes I like to have a little tinker with certain figures just to improve them a little bit or to get them to my taste. And I've got to say, when this figure goes back into the cabinet, it will be going back like that, because I think that looks sweet. So, massive thanks to Tony May for sending me these capes to have a look at. I do like them, much appreciated, brother. If you want to get in touch with him, please do so. Obviously, he will deal with a lot of clients, so please be respectful, and obviously do respect his private life, because it's not like he's sat at home making capes 24/7, I'm sure. But that does look fucking beautiful, and yeah, there's no doubt in that. But for now, this Uncle Clipper and the DX12 and 9, and we are out of here.